Thanks for joining us, and let's get started.
Welcome to our series on A Beginner's Guide to Spirituality. This episode will talk about the significance of being spiritual versus being religious. We'll discuss the difference between spirituality and religion, how to separate religious thinking from spiritual thinking, and how to be fulfilled through spirituality without being religious. As usual, we'll introduce you to your personal challenge, which is designed to get you in the habit of practicing things that are healthy for the new you. Ready? Awesome. Let's get started. With that, we invite you to get settled in a place where you can digest this information without interruption or struggle, clear your mind, and get ready to take the next step in a vital transformation. Let's start with a brief moment of silence to focus and meditate on what you're about to learn, receive, and practice.
As we're approaching the session about spirituality, we might get confused between the difference between spirituality and religion. I mean, what is the real big difference between religion and spirituality? You know, when you ask a lot of people who are spiritual, they say, no, we're not religious. When you ask people who are religious, they say, what is spirituality? So what is the difference between the two? Spirituality is basically energy that exists everywhere. It exists within you. So if you are a believer and you are religious, and I'm totally supported, then you believe there is a higher power. You can call it divine, you can call it God, call it whatever you want. But you believe there is a higher power that definitely will help you. Sometimes when you are religious, you put that power in the hand of an external force to save you and to help you. So let me tell you a story. That story should stay with you. I don't know if you ever have been in Jerusalem, a holy place for the Christian, the Muslim, the Jew. Everybody believes that place is holy. Just they don't agree who is it belong to. But they all agree it's a special place. So for that reason, I'm taking the story. I'm talking about Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, there is a wall. And people go with a piece of paper and they write on a piece of paper something that they wish to happen. The story goes about our friend from Kentucky. Our friend from Kentucky fly to Jerusalem, and every year he put the note exactly between the stone, and his hope God will answer his prayer. After 20 years that he does it, the angel Gabriel go to God and say, dear God, you know, our friend from Kentucky keep coming to Jerusalem, keep asking for the same thing. Why can't we grant his wish? Why can't we make sure that whatever his wish will happen? And God said to the angel Gabriel, and what is he asking? He says, he's asking, please, dear God, help me to win the lottery. And God said, oh, that's guy from Kentucky? Gabriel the angel say, yes. He said, just go ahead and tell him to buy the ticket. He never bought the ticket. And this is not just a joke or a story. It's to tell us really the difference between religion and spirituality. Sometimes religion makes us believe that the external force will do everything for us. We just sit home and everything will just happen by itself. Spirituality, on the other hand, finding the God from within. The God that we are looking for, the divine you're looking for, that higher power you're looking for is internal, it's not external. It's not behind the cloud looking at you and judge you and find out what's wrong with you. It's a force that's living in within you. And as you get better on your spiritual journey, you find that that force is actually ignite and becoming so powerful. And together you can overcoming a lot of area of your life where you're stuck. And for that reason, a lot of time when you become true religious, you believe only in the outside force will help you. And that can be, my friend, sometimes, to my opinion, again, this is my opinion, it can be dangerous sometimes just to be religious without spirituality. And the reason for that is because you become a bit of a victim. You start blaming either God, if you lost your belief in God, or either the universe for why you've been punished or why you've not been rewarded. And you are only busy with the reward and punishment all your life. Instead of understanding that you got to do something about it for that energy to dwell on you. Because in the end of the day, there is something called the laws of affinity you're all familiar with. And the laws of affinity say, as you change, things change around you. Spirituality is to develop your spirit, to develop the spirit within, by that connecting to, if you want to call it the divine God, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter the name, just to understand that there is a higher intelligence that be connecting to your inner force. And I'm not here to ask you to believe. Please don't see it as me forcing you some belief system. I'm only here to show you information that might guide you into a better life. Basically, the difference between the two is self-awareness. When you are spiritual, you're more aware of what you're doing. You don't just do it blindfolded, and you don't just follow the physical thing. Whatever it is, physical thing that you have to wear, that relate to the five senses. We want to climb above the five senses. And when you climb above the five senses, it's very difficult things to do. It's almost like going to the moon, you're changing. The atmosphere, you're going out of that, things are changed. Now, when we talk about spirituality versus religion, there's a good point here. To be spiritual, you can be religious too. You can be religious and spiritual, but not every time that you are spiritual, you have to be religious. You can be just spiritual without a religion. You can follow spirituality, because spirituality is much open-minded. It's not going to put you into a box of who you are and how you need to be. It's not how you dress. There's no dress code for spirituality. Spirituality is internal. It's not external. Where religion, you have to wear a yarmulke if you're a Jewish, you have to wear the cross if you're Christian, you have to do a certain thing if you're Muslim, or if you're a Hindu. There is more about the five senses. Within spirituality, it's not controlled by the five senses. It's your moment with you, between your soul, your spirit, and whatever you call the divine or the higher intelligence, whatever you want to call it. That's spirituality. For that reason, the connection there is more profound. Again, to my opinion, way more profound, where you have to get the approval of the minister or the rabbi of other people or the mask. There's no such a thing like this. It's between you and whatever you call the creator, the divine, the light, the higher power. It's a all different game. One of the forces that drive religion and drive it for a long time, and again, it's not my purpose to put religion down, but fear is a huge aspect of religion. Without fear, religion will never work. You're afraid. You're afraid to be punished either here or to be punished up there. It's all about the force is punishment. And actually, if you want to get yourself more motivated, you're going to get rewarded, right? Some people get promised that after they die, if they behave good, oh my God, let me tell you, you're going to have a great chamber up there in heaven. So that's kind of motivation. Think about it. Don't you think it's a bit selfish to kind of take advantage of whatever you call a higher power, God, the angel? Say, okay, I behave that way. Even if I'm fake, I'm getting the reward. And if I misbehave, I get punished. Let's be honest. Let's talk one-on-one here for a second. If you believe that there is God, let's see, you're religious, right? You believe there is God. God is sitting there and saying, this guy, punish him right now. The one that created you, if you believe there is a force that created you, there is nothing else in their mind just to punish you and reward you, or they just want evolution of greatness to come into the next level. Spirituality, when you are spiritual, first, you don't have to be religion. You don't have to believe in religion. Spirituality is an all different game. Spirituality is more working on yourself, step by step, and taking yourself from one level to another, so you will be able to be a better version of yourself by using your soul, connecting to a higher power. So it's not about if you get punished or if you get reward. Think about it like that. If I put my two fingers into the socket right now, am I suffering? Of course, you can die. Am I telling myself, I think the electric company put this wire there, just been punishing me? That's how stupid it sounds when you are following kind of a religious method. I was punished by, no. The God thing doesn't have plus and minus. That spiritual being doesn't have bad or good. It's electricity. It doesn't have agenda. It's just electricity. How I want to use the electricity, that's already spirituality. I'm aware. I either can put my finger and kill myself, or either take that to use it for the fan, or use it for the refrigerator. That's my choices. So between spirituality and religion, there is a very big gap. And for that reason, if you're religious, you have to add fear if you want to be successful. With spirituality, it's based on love. How can I connect to that force in a better way? I would like to challenge you in this session, and please listen carefully. I would like you to write down how you define yourself. Do you define yourself religious, based on what I say? Do you define yourself spiritual? Do you define yourself none of the above? And if so, after you write it down, then I would like you to write down how would you like to see yourself in the next 6 weeks. After all this session, I want you in the next 6 weeks, how do you see yourself, how spiritual you become? What does spirituality mean to you? Make sure you write it down. And the reason I want you to write it down as a challenge, because as we go through those sessions, you always can go back to that piece of paper that you wrote down, and see if you follow through to become the spiritual person that you always wanted to be.
This has been another episode of Vital Transformation's Guided Sessions. For more information, visit us at vitaltransformation.org, where you'll find access to all of our guided sessions, content library, weekly updates, and upcoming events. To keep content like this new, relevant, and free to the public, make a donation today at vitaltransformation.org/donate, or write to us at donate@vitaltransformation.org. Thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon.